Hey, Mark here. I just want to give you a quick heads up before you listen to this episode. So, Adam Hodgins is a guest. He's a wild man. This episode's a lot of fun. It's really bonkers. We had a great time recording it, but we had some technical difficulties. So, there are a couple moments that sound a little iffy. I would say 90% of the episode is fine, but you're going to hear 10% or so of the episode that sounds just a little echoey. It's not terrible, but I just want to give you a heads up. The content here is A+. It's a bonkers episode, and like I said, Adam Hodgins is a maniac, so you're going to love this episode. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is recording this episode from inside the empty husk of a crashed spaceship on an alien planet. It's Adam Hodgins.
Am I coming in, Mark?
Yeah.
Am I coming in? I've hot-wired this Yautja technology together. I'm hoping it's coming through at your end. I just want to make sure that you can hear me fine. I'm very skeptical, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to record from this abandoned ship.
Yeah, and if you've been listening to the podcast since 2017, you know that Adam is normally very animated. We have some amazing discussions, but since you're on an empty husk of a plane inside, an alien planet with Yautja hunting you, we're going to get animated, but you can't be screaming like you normally do. There's going to be no Gerard Butler-esque renditions of Phantom of the Opera songs from you tonight.
Well, I said to Mark we could record this episode 3 weeks earlier, but I'd have to record the whole episode talking like this. And Mark didn't want that, so we waited till it was the off season. So the season now, like the hunters have gone back to their home world, so now it's just surviving the perils of this alien planet of itself. But then in 2 months' time, when they come back, that's when the hunt starts again. And that's when I need to really go into lockdown. So this is a rare window where I'm here and I can record with Mark.
Have you resorted to cannibalism yet?
No, because there's lots of delicious animals from this planet that I've encountered. I don't know if they're healthy for me or not, but boy, are they good. You gotta cook them up nice.
Well, I know your cholesterol's high, so be careful out there.
Yeah, a lot of red meat and ironically a lot of blue meat on this planet as well.
And green blood?
Yeah, lots of green blood, high in iron, I think is why it's green, but I'm not too sure.
So Nathan LaHaye and I recorded an episode about predators, and we released it. And in that episode, I got a ton of messages from people about the Yautja scouting system and how they catch serial killers. People love that. I get a message from you, and you're like, we need to do an episode. So I want you to introduce the topic today to the audience. Let them know the message you had, the idea you had, the aha moment, and what we're doing.
Yeah, so I was listening to the episode. If you haven't listened to it, go back and check it out because it is brilliant. And we've done some Predator chats before. I think we did a Final Fight episode with the Predator, and so it's a beloved franchise to both Mark and I. And so when I was listening to this conversation, you guys are going into like how do they recruit serial killers, and it's like are the Yautja among us right now, just like taking dibs? Is there scouts kind of like Trouble with the Curve? Is Clint Eastwood version of the Predator just driving around? Are they driving around in a vintage Yautja ship that's just like breaking down and they're taking tabs on people? Like, how do they know? How did they know Topher Grace was a secret serial killer when no one else knew about it, right? So the idea of like how do they draft those people? I was like, well, Mark and I always do drafts on the end of our episodes. So I wanted to do an entire episode as if we were pulling from all of cinema history. Who would we recruit to be on our like dream predator team, like to survive a hunting season on this planet. And so I kind of come up with some rules. So the rules are this. There needs to be 3 heroes and 3 villains into the mix because there was a mixture of both of those in Predators. And that adds some neat dynamic. It's not just, 6 best friends going out there. There's going to be some inner conflict, right? You're going to be watching out for the Goggins of it all, if you will. Like, am I going to get stabbed or am I going to survive with my own team at night? Can I go to sleep? And then the other thing was I have no proof or evidence that Yautjas can time travel. So our squads had to be from the same era, and we broke all of cinema history into 3 eras of time, which is present day, so anything that takes place in the year that it was filmed. So like Dirty Harry takes place in 1974, but it was filmed in 74. And so that counts as the same thing that would be like, The Avengers takes place in 2012 because it was filmed in 2012. So there's present day films, there's movies set in the future, or there's movies set in the past. And so it had to be from one of those three basic food groups. And so we're going to put together a team of 6 people, and we're going to see who can put together a better squad and kind of do our best of. And then I have one last follow-up question to end the episode with, Mark. I'm going to sit on that for a second.
I love it. So I went for a modern day squad. 3 heroes, 3 villains. Very stressful. Very stressful. This felt like the rules for one of my movies, films, and flicks movie tournaments that you can find on Facebook. I was hunting all over, looking for different people, and I was also looking for different dynamics and who would be great. And can I get us started with my first pick?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Go for it.
So I know it's from the same era, but this one's a really left field pick. But I was doing a video for Fandom where I had to watch all of the Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street films. And in that, I had to count all of the kills and all of the escapes. And so while watching this franchise, I dealt with a lot of final hero situations, final girl, final guy situations. Yep. I was rewatching Friday the 13th, Part 3, the 3D one. And I was watching Chris Higgins in Friday the 13th, Part 3. And she is an absolute beast. So she gets attacked in the house. She drops a bookcase on Jason. Then she chases him with a knife, stabs him in the leg. Then she breaks a window with a chair, jumps out. She gets into a van, drives away, almost hits Jason. Then, when she is in the car, Jason goes to get her. She rolls up the window, traps Jason's hand, and she escapes. And she runs away. Then, she grabs a log and knocks Jason in the face with it. Then she runs away. Then she goes into a barn and hides. In this barn, she drops on Jason. She drops on him. She drops. She's in the air and she drops down on him like a beast. Then she knocks him out with a shovel. Then she doesn't just run away. In horror movies when people just run away, and I can't say what I would do in a horror movie, but instead of just running away, she hangs Jason. She puts a rope around his neck and hangs him. Then he comes back to life. Then she kills him with an axe to the face. She hits him with an axe to the face. So this Chris, she is just an absolute beast of a, I'm going to call her a final hero. I think she's not even a final girl anymore. Final grown woman. Actually the final heroes in the first 3 Friday the 13th are quite tough. The one in the beginning, she fights Jason's mom, decapitates her. The one in the second one tricks Jason, gets him. But Chris, man, okay, this is why I picked her. I'm presuming we're on the alien planet, correct? Where
that's my idea, yeah.
And so she's on this planet. She's outmatched. They're smarter. They have better technology. But when she fought Jason, he was bigger, stronger, and deadlier. But she used everything in her surroundings. She dropped a bookcase. She found a knife. She jumped out windows. She used logs. She tried to run Jason over. She trapped him in windows. She hung him when she bomped him on the head. She tricked him. She wasn't afraid to drop on his head. Like, Chris is a monster. Chris, I'm saying it. Like, Chris Higgins, dude, because I watched over 40 movies for this research piece I did. And I just sat there going, Chris is my hero. So if I'm putting people on this planet, I want Chris Higgins, same sweater, jeans, dropping out of trees, landing on Yautjas, hitting them with logs. I mean, just beautiful fighting skills. She is a survivor. And you know what? She had no survivor skills. So it shows she has instincts.
Right.
And I almost appreciate that more than the other ones.
Yeah, that's a great pick. And I think you're right in that she's not a final girl. A final girl survives by happenstance and coincidence. Mm-hmm. But Chris survives because she brought her A game.
Like, we couldn't do that well, Adam. We couldn't do that well.
No, I am a first 20 minutes of a Friday the 13th movie guy. That's me. I'm there for comic relief. I'll say some sassy jokes, and then all of a sudden I'm dead. And I'll be the first body they find. And they're like, what's happening? I'm the what's happening moment in a Friday the 13th movie. That's what's going on there. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's great. Mark, what would you say, though, if we as you're talking about all the stuff that Chris did, I had a brilliant idea. And I don't want to bunny trail too much because we got to stick to the point of this draft. But what we started and pitched Friday the 13th. We'll call them branch movies. So Jason's not involved in them at all, but it's all the follow-up movies to what happened with these characters. So like Chris becomes a bounty hunter in Florida.
She just hunts that man. That Chris who defeated Jason's chasing me.
Yeah. So it's just like all the offside characters that somehow survive, and then, you know, she gets her own movie as Chris the Bounty Hunter.
Oh,
and she got such a high from fighting Jason, she's chasing it now.
I mean, you know, I love Nancy Thompson, right? Nightmare on Elm Street. She put up a fight. I love Sidney Prescott. She became boss mode. She became boss level.
Yeah.
But man, what Chris did, you know, what's great too? This wasn't her turf. She was on Crystal Lake. She was on Jason's turf. Mm-hmm. And she won. So she's going to this Predator planet. Boom.
Yeah.
So who you got for 100%. Your first pick?
So my first pick is a different way to go. I think you'll know, and I'll know. Everybody who's in the know knows that usually the guy who wins a fight is the guy who doesn't flinch when it starts. Right? There's usually two guys go toe to toe, and whichever guy can go the longest without flinching, without backing down, without taking, you know, a little hesitation, he's the guy who comes out ahead. So in all of movie cinema history, I think the guy who does it the best is Walt Kowalski from Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood. Now I know you look and you say like he's a feeble old man, he hasn't got a lot of upper body strength, he's not quick, he's not going, but I think he's got that. But he's the guy that doesn't care about the nonsense. So we as people, especially as time goes on, we get more distracted by shiny things and people's emotions and, you know, oh, how's this going to feel? And there's all this like dramatic nonsense that happens. And Clint Eastwood has no time for that. If you look at him in Gran Torino as Walt Kowalski, he does not care, to his detriment, about social standings or being politically correct or, you know, he just wants what he wants. He wants to do what he's going to do, and he does whatever it takes to get it done, even in the end when it comes sacrificing himself for the greater good. However, in that moment, he was killed because he was viewed as a threat because they thought he had a gun, but he didn't. And the predators will never, if they're infrared vision, they'll never see him as a threat.
Because they'll just be like, who brought this guy here?
Who brought this old guy? And he is a mastermind. So I think you put a couple guys around him that can get behind him. I think Walt Kowalski is going to be your mastermind that really, really pulls the team together.
You know what I love too is he's always telling people to get off his lawn, but now he's on their lawn. So the situation's flipped.
But he didn't go there. They put him on his lawn.
No, but that's what I love though. Like he's not on his lawn. He's off his turf. It'd be nice to see him off his turf, which I like.
Absolutely.
It's like cry macho a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think he'd have a hard time sacrificing a villain on the team, right? Like, so, you know, we have our heroes. Like in Predators, there's always like, well, do you kill Danny Trejo or do you go save him? Or like, what do you do in that situation? I don't think Kowalski bats an eye. He's just like, this is a means to an end. We need to win.
Oh, I love it. Just watching him saunter along with a glass of beer, cussing at people.
Right.
And then I just worry about the dogs murdering him because the dogs don't care if he doesn't have a weapon or not. That's his one problem.
He's got some flaws, but I think I'm going to build a big enough team around him that we're gonna see some victories happening. But the Predator franchise is famous for just like very quotable lines, right? Like you know, get to the chopper, like all the stick around, the puns, all that stuff. Kowalski has no time for that, and I would love to see someone set up a pun and him just go, what, and walk away.
The no look, the no pun look away.
The no pun look away and just leave the joke hanging there. Like don't hit the punchline. Yeah, and he just saunters away. So Walt Kowalski's my first pick.
I love it. That's perfect. All right, so I'm going to stick with heroes for the first round. And I'm going to go with Neat Khan, who's played by Golshifteh Farahani from Extraction. Now, I'm a big fan of Golshifteh Farahani, Neat Khan from this character. I'm a big fan of the movie Patterson. Like, I love that. Jim Jarmusch directed it. But I want her in this movie because Predators is an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
And you need to have Predator. The original Predator was an ensemble cast. So what I like about that is you need to have people that can be on the periphery but are still strong. and
Yeah.
know their role. What I like about her, what I like about her in Extraction